Politico lingers on candidates' fingers and defend Walz's wide eyes as they claim beards are for bad guys. Tyler, speaking of beards, and I mean the one on your face, not the one that you hang out with. Is it the shirt? Yeah, it's the shirt. For a little guy, you got a lot of hair, though, I gotta say.
Well, it's my leg here that I glue on.
Politico decided to hire a body language expert to analyze the debate, not the substance, not the actual arguments, the body language. And this expert came up with some absolutely mind-bending conclusions. According to Politico, Tim Walz's wide eyes showed passion and emotional intensity. Meanwhile, they claimed J.D. Vance's beard conveys aggression and opposition to feminist ideals. Now think about this for a second. Politico is arguing that a physical feature, just having facial hair, is somehow a statement against women's rights. And they're doing this with a straight face while their expert tells us that looking shocked conveys competence.
So,
It's like a little garment.
some hack at Politico writes this piece on the body language from the debate, claiming that it speaks volumes. Yeah, it says that Walz lost, but one of them, Politico says, is like Walz's wide eyes showed his passion and emotional intensity. Can we show that? There's that humans would widen their eyes to convey that danger is close. What emotion are you getting from that?
Here's the thing that's brilliant about what Gutfeld does. He's showing you the actual image while describing what Politico's expert claimed. And you can see it for yourself. Walz looked startled, like someone who just got caught doing something wrong. The expert tried to spin this as passion and emotional intensity. But what you're actually seeing is someone who looks uncomfortable, burdened, and, as Tyrus perfectly describes it, like a cop just pulled you over and you realized you have heroin in your pocket, but that's not passion. That's panic. That's the look of someone who knows they're losing and doesn't know what to do about it. But Politico's expert needed a way to make it sound positive, so they twisted it into something that doesn't match what our eyes are actually seeing.
Tim Walz very much looked burdened by what has not been and what will never be. He had that face like Top pulled him over and he just realized he had heroin in his pocket.
Yeah.
Go move. Where am I? The debate? Oh, where am I? The debate? Yeah. Body language it's everything. I mean, it's everything. You have to look calm. Look what you're doing a little bit. You look calm, relaxed.
I am.
It's why when I'm making love to a woman, you want to do, no, listen.
Yeah.
Take notes.
It's a theory.
It's a theory.
Hypothetical.
You want to be calm. You want to be calm, and you want to do minimal movements. It's why I do in bed what's called the Mitch McConnell, where I just kind of... And then she'll pick up, and she'll end up doing most of the work.
So Tyrus just nailed something really important hidden in that comedy. Body language is about being calm and composed. Walz wasn't calm. He looked uncomfortable. He looked like he was trying to figure out how to recover from something. But this gets even more ridiculous when we look at what Politico claimed about J.D. Vance's beard. They argued that beards are masculine, which is just basic biology, but then claimed that conveying masculinity through facial hair is somehow a microaggression against feminism. This is the absurdity of modern media analysis. They're applying ideology to physical features. A beard isn't a political statement. It's just hair. But Politico needed to make Vance look bad. So they decided that having facial hair is anti-feminist. Kat Timpf absolutely destroys this logic.
They had a stupid take on Vance's facial hair.
Yes.
They said that voters see beards as more masculine, but also it could be negative, conveying aggression and the opposition to feminist ideals. This is sexist. Plenty of women with beards.
No, honestly, this guy is the perfect example of how just because you're an expert doesn't mean you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
Because, beards, all right. Have you ever been to Brooklyn and seen these dudes in Brooklyn with their soy lattes walking around?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you spent, 50 years doing this, 25 in the FBI, great, but you've never even heard of a hipster? Like, how useful are you really?
Kat just highlighted the most damning part of this entire analysis. The expert leads with his credentials. I've been doing this for 50 years, 25 in the FBI. He's essentially saying, trust me because of my background. But then immediately says something so disconnected from reality that it makes you question everything. The expert claims beards convey opposition to feminist ideals, yet he somehow doesn't know about the hipster beard trend from Brooklyn, or the fact that women can have beards. He's so removed from actual culture that his analysis becomes worthless. This is a pattern in mainstream media. Hire someone with impressive credentials, let them make obviously flawed arguments, and expect the public to accept it because of the credentials. But as Kat points out, credentials don't prevent you from being an idiot. They just give you a bigger platform to spread your ideology.
Are you mad, though, Tyrus, that, like, beards have been kind of co-opted by beta males like Tyler?
No, because
Watch what you
it's
say.
like all. Wait, hold on. Watch what I say. I will f- around, stick my hand up your back, and make you my puppet for the rest of the show. And you will answer for me. But that angry outburst had nothing to do with my beard.
Yeah.
I love it when they said it was masculine. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's one of the things. The reason why men grow beards scientifically is because we're the ones that fight and are aggressive, and it adds a little bit more protection to our face. So JD probably shouldn't have wore a beard. He probably should have wore a hazmat suit to protect him from all the that was flying over from the other side.
Here's what's brilliant about Tyrus's point. Beards actually exist for a biological reason. They provide protection during conflict. This is scientifically documented. But Politico's experts somehow twisted this into a negative statement about gender politics. The irony is perfect. Tyrus points out that Vance needs protection. It's not from his beard being too masculine. It's from the incompetence coming from the other side of the debate. Walz's wide-eyed panic and confused body language are what actually convey weakness. But Politico couldn't say that. Why? Because Politico was trying to make Vance look bad and Walz look good, regardless of what actually happened. So they invented a narrative about facial hair being a microaggression instead of just analyzing what the debate actually showed. One candidate was composed and confident. The other looked panicked and lost.
Emily, this expert also claimed that Walz pointed directly at the camera, which means he wants you to pay attention.
I mean, I hope this person wasn't paid by Politico. But to your point in the beginning, to the question, this is exactly why everyone hates mainstream media. And it is so hypocritical, by the way. Do you remember when the same fashion experts, and this one was for the New York Times, analyzed the RNC and DNC and said how Walz wore Filson, and that made him a man of the people. But then when he showed up in a suit, it was an elegant representation of DC. But then when Vance wears Filson, all of a sudden he's a microaggression and everyone should be afraid of him.
And here's the smoking gun. The exact same media outlets that praised Walz for wearing casual clothes as man of the people turned around and condemned Vance for wearing the same thing as a microaggression. When Walz appeared in a suit, they called it an elegant representation of DC respectability. When Vance appeared in casual clothes, they said it conveyed aggression and anti-feminist ideology. This isn't analysis. This is narrative construction. This is taking the same facts, a candidate's clothing, their facial expressions, their physical features, and spinning them completely differently based on which candidate you want to help. This is exactly why people hate mainstream media. Not because the analysis is wrong, but because the analysis is deliberately contradictory. The media will say whatever they need to say to advance a predetermined narrative. They'll hire an expert to back it up, and if that expert's credentials are impressive enough, they hope nobody notices that the argument makes no sense.
I was walking down an alley, man, and I saw a man with a beard, just a guy with a beard, or that expression, believe me, the pepper spray would be all sprayed all over Walz. That is the freak, not JD Vance.
Yeah, well, Walz's expression throughout the entire time did not convey steadiness.
No.
Like, almost like unsteady, weird.
Like a
Yeah.
he could have been one of the Three Stooges, just like.
Again,
for an anvil to
I
fall
go
on.
back to Walz was shocked. He's like, he likes me. He really likes me. He was writing notes going, haha, I told you he'd like me, guys, if I was just myself. Be myself. He made a friend that day. That's why Walz was like, huh? You're not going to bring up any of the I've been a part of?
It's like a meerkat, a weird meerkat.
We're going to have lunch.
Made a new friend.
So let's recap. Politico hired an expert to analyze debate body language. The expert made arguments so disconnected from reality that a Brooklyn hipster doesn't exist in his world. The same media outlets that praised casual clothing on one candidate condemned it on another. And when a candidate looked startled and confused, they called a passion. This is what happens when ideology drives analysis instead of facts driving conclusions. When you decide in advance who you want to win, you can make any data fit that narrative. A wide-eyed expression becomes passion. A beard becomes a microaggression. Casual clothing becomes man of the people or dangerous aggression. Depending on whose side it is, that if you're tired of media analysis that contradicts itself, hit that like button. Subscribe for more media criticism that actually makes sense. And drop a comment. What was the most ridiculous part of this body language analysis? Let's talk about it.